Hello traders, Rich here, and here's a quick but detailed update on GBPCHF. As usual, if you guys like video analysis, let me know in the comments or simply leave a like. So let's get started. As we clearly see, GBPCHF has been overall bearish for a while, making lower lows and lower highs. However, it's currently approaching a very strong support zone. As we've got many rejections from it, we can see it better from the daily time frame. If we zoom out, here we go. So we've got multiple rejections from it. Moreover, this zone is also lining up with the lower trend line covering the entire movement downward, which is a falling broadening wedge. So the lower trend line is acting as a non-horizontal support, or what also I consider an oversold area. That's why we'll be looking for buy setups. Of course, we don't buy blindly because GBPCHF can still dive inside the support before trading higher or even break it downward for it to become a resistance and so on. So we zoom into lower time frames to look for setups. On H4 time frame, we also have a channel approaching the lower bounds. Of course, later on when we trade higher, we'll be looking for trend following sell setups here. But for now, let's take it step by step around the support, looking for buy setups. If you zoom into H1 time frame, if you remember, I posted a picture analysis that we have a trend line red here, price was around here, I guess, that will be waiting for a new swing high to form around it, and then buy on break upward, which didn't happen. Obviously, price kept moving lower and now forming a wedge pattern, as we can see in blue. This is our last major high for now. That's why I'll be waiting for the buyers to take over by breaking above it. Let me highlight it. Here we go. For those who know me, I always highlight it like this as our trigger. Let me go for caps lock. That's it. And when the buy is activated, of course, after breaking above this major high, the stop loss would be below the previous swing low, and we target a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio to have an edge over the market, which would be where around the upper trend line orange, which we saw from H4, and this resistance in blue. Meanwhile, until the buy is activated, GBPCHF can still trade lower and lower before breaking the zone or even break the support downward, as I mentioned from daily time frame. Before we continue, I want to tell you about Tickmill. Tickmill is established in 2014 and is one of the leading Forex and CFD brokers with registered users from more than 200 different countries. Tickmill is a no-dealing desk and ECN broker regulated in many countries like the UK, Cyprus, and recently in South Africa. With Tickmill, you can trade a wide range of instruments, starting from Forex to indices, commodities, and even crypto. Most importantly, with very low spreads and trading fees. If you don't have an account yet, make sure to create one using my referral link in the description below to benefit from 5% discounts on your trading fees. And let's continue. As we clearly see, AUDJPY has been overall bullish for a while, making higher lows and higher highs, trading inside this rising brown channel. However, we are currently approaching a strong resistance zone and supply, and the upper brown trend line acting as a non-horizontal resistance. That's why we'll be looking for sell setups, knowing that price can still dive inside the zone before going downward or even break it upward for it to become a support and keep on trading higher. That's why even though we are approaching a strong resistance, we don't sell blindly. We always zoom into lower time frames to look for sell setups. If you zoom into H4 time frame, we can see that the bulls took over here and the bears took over. We had our first impulse and we are currently in a correction phase, waiting for the bears to take over again to enter our set for the next to catch the next impulse movement downward. So as per my trading plan from H4, of course, from a medium-term perspective, I'll be waiting for a third swing low to form around the lower trend line to consider it my trigger swing. Of course, for those who know me, I always highlight it like this as our trigger. And when this sell, of course, when this happens, and the sell is activated, the stop loss would be above the previous swing high, and we target a 1 to 2 risk to reward ratio to have an edge over the market, which would be around the lower weekly support. Of course, from a short-term perspective, as price approaches this upper trend line and this supply zone, also the resistance and so on, as mentioned, as we dive inside the zone, we'll be zooming into lower time frames like H1 or M30 to look for a short-term sell setup. But for now, I'm waiting for it to go higher and then we'll be zooming into lower time frames. Best of luck, and I'll see you on the next one.